Good afternoon, Jets Nation. Welcome to the Jet Show. And today we're going to be talking about the linebacker position and how I think the Jets address it this offseason. So without further ado, let's get it started. So last season, linebacker wasn't the worst position on the field and definitely shouldn't be one of the Jets' top 5 priorities this offseason. But it definitely needs to be addressed. I do think we should be in the market for a linebacker who can go alongside C.J. Mosley. Now, there have been some rumors going around that the New York Jets are really high on Quincy Williams and are going to be using him as our linebacker number 2 next year. And I wouldn't be mad at that, but I also would rather if the New York Jets would go out and draft a guy or sign someone in free agency. So who are some guys we could potentially sign? Devondre Campbell from the Green Bay Packers is my number 1 free agent. He was an All-Pro in 2021, and he had 146 tackles, 2 interceptions, 5 pass deflections, 6 tackles for loss, and 2 forced fumbles. Now that is a pretty impressive stat line, but before this season, he was a Quincy Williams type of player. He signed with the Packers last offseason for only $2 million. So by no means is Campbell one of the best linebackers in the NFL. He just had one really good season in 2021, and that's about it. He could potentially be a one-year wonder, and we have no idea how he's going to be in 2022. So if he's wanting a crazy contract, if he's wanting a lot of money, then you stay away from him. But if the New York Jets can find a pretty good contract for Campbell, then I would be all for signing him. I mean, he's pretty good in coverage, he's a pretty good tackler, and he's also a really healthy player. And then we have Foyesade Okun from the Atlanta Falcons. Sorry if I mispronounced that. Okun also had a very impressive season this year. He had 192 tackles, which was the most in the NFL, 3 interceptions, 6 pass deflections, 2 sacks, 4 tackles for loss, and 1 forced fumble. But like Campbell, Okun didn't produce before 2021. So if he's wanting a lot of money, then you stay away from him. But if you can find a good contract for Okun, then the New York Jets should pull the trigger. He's a great tackler, he's great in coverage, and he's also a pretty healthy player. He's also really good in the run game as well. But someone who really isn't healthy is Leighton Vander Esch from the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, he had a stellar rookie season. He had 140 tackles, 2 interceptions, 7 pass deflections, and 2 tackles for loss in his rookie season with the Cowboys. But in 2019 and 2020, he suffered a lot from injuries, missed a total of 13 games in those 2 seasons. But he played in every single game this season for the Cowboys, but only had 77 tackles, which is an underwhelming stat line from a player who had so much promise from a former first-round draft pick. Now, Esch, he isn't really a guy I like, but he does have a lot of promise and potential to him, and if you can find a pretty solid contract for Esch, then I would be all for signing him. But honestly, he's a fallback option in my opinion. If the New York Jets want to target a linebacker in free agency, I would either go for Campbell or Okun. You know, and if we can't sign those guys, then maybe I would consider Esch, but I would just rather go after a guy in the draft. Now, this draft has some pretty good linebackers. You have Devin Lloyd and Nakobe Dean. Those are my 2 favorite linebackers in this year's draft, but as I said, I think we should be in the market for a linebacker number 2, and both of those guys are going to be going in the first round. And you don't want to draft a linebacker in the first round just so they can be your linebacker number 2. So there are 2 linebackers that I highlighted that I think would be pretty good fits for us and that I would want us to maybe use as a linebacker number 2 alongside C.J. Mosley. So the first guy is Chad Muma from Wyoming. He was a former defensive back in high school, so obviously he is pretty good in coverage. He also is an all-over-the-field type of linebacker. There's a clip on your screen playing from the Senior Bowl off one of his tackles. I mean, the fact that he just ran all the way across the field to get that tackle on Malik Willis is really impressive. And this past season in college football, he had 142 tackles, which was the most out of any player in the NCAA last season. And the final guy we're going to be talking about is Brian Asamoah, linebacker from Oklahoma. Asamoah is very athletic, he's pretty fast, and he's also good in coverage. Problem with Asamoah is that he's not exactly the best when it comes to run stopping, but at the Senior Bowl, he was the best run stopper there. He also won the best linebacker award as well, but it was pretty interesting to see that he just improved his run game so much. Now, obviously, the Senior Bowl is not going to tell his entire career. I mean, it was just only 1 week. But But anyway, that is all I got for you guys today. If you enjoyed, let me know by hitting the subscribe and like button. Check me out on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at Jude_Jets for more content. And you can also check me out on Let's Talk Sports, writing Jets articles for them. And they also have a podcast for like every single sport. So make sure you guys check them out down below. Their Facebook is linked down below in the description. Well, I'm your host, Jude, signing off for now. See you guys later. Peace.